Greetings and salutations, everybody. Welcome back to episode 60 of the Snarp Fangle Podcast. I am your host, Jake Metzger, and am joined today by my lovely co-host. And I just got to say, his sermon at youth group last Saturday, peak. It was just great. Really, and bringing in the whole Star Trek The Next Generation thing was just a nice touch, we'll say. Really nice touch. Man. Ladies and gentlemen, David Reed.
Man, that sounds like a nice time.
Yeah.
It's a shame that I wasn't there to enjoy it.
Oh, you're a sermon at youth group? What?
Yeah. It's a shame I wasn't there to enjoy my own Devo that I supposedly gave.
Yeah. Well, this you see, David. If we're gonna break the reality for the listener, this will be released next week, and tomorrow's youth group. So I just wanted to say that. I hope there's some start
in advance. Oh, okay. You're trying to like prime the pump, so to speak.
Yeah, you gotta
sow the seeds of next generation references.
I want you to put like the next generation memes in there. I want you to have Jonathan Frakes be like, "What's wrong with you?" You know, like I just want you to put that in. That's gonna be great.
Serious youth group improvement.
Oh yeah.
Oh man, now.
Do you know
you've just increased my workworkload?
No.
Thank you very much. No, I'm not just kidding.
And our guest this week is someone we found just wandering around outside our house, you know?
Yeah.
And we asked what he was doing, and he replied, "I hear you guys do a podcast," as he was standing next to our well. And me and David both replied after a moment of thought and said, "Yeah." Ladies and gentlemen, Jacob Toste.
Exactly.
Jacob Toste.
Everybody always gets it wrong, but you got it right.
That's what's up. How you doing, Jacob?
I'm doing pretty good.
Yeah?
Showed up here today, and I immediately said, I had a great morning, not remembering that it was 3 p.m. already.
3 p.m., yeah. Yeah, well, again, thank you for taking your time to come on to the Snarp Fangle Podcast and to talk in front of the congregation of Snarp Fangles on YouTube. I just call them congregation. I don't have no reason, you know, but... That's just what I
They
use.
congregate to listen.
Yeah. Exactly.
Well, I'm glad to be here.
Out there, you know? As of right now.
But they're still out there.
They're still out there, yeah. Let's see. What do I have? Oh, yeah. For comments, concerns, hate mail, and general thoughts, and what other celebrities you would want to see on the podcast, we'll see what we can pull. Send everything on over to snarpfanglepod@gmail.com, or you can just text Jake. So if you have my number. So anyway, Jacob, thanks for coming on. I want to describe how we met. So we both work at Butte College.
Yeah.
And is this your first or second semester?
This is my first semester working.
First semester working. All right. So
but it's my fourth semester at Butte.
Nice. Okay, cool. So yeah, I think we were passing out schedules for everybody, and it was a big room and a lot of people. And so I was given the task of, hey, call people out on this microphone. And I said, oh, okay, yeah, sure, you know. And so I'm like going through them, and I grabbed the nearest person next to me, and I said, hey, you, what's your name? And you said Jacob, and I'm like, all right, Jacob will help me out, and let's read these things. And then the moment I heard your voice, I'm like, whoa, okay, what's going on here? This guy's been in front of a microphone before, maybe. So anyway, let's get into it. Who is Jacob Toste?
Well, I'm me. I do all sorts of things. Definitely a big nerd.
Yeah.
Care way too much about cars and video games and renewable power sources and speech and debate and robotics and all sorts of just whatever I'm feeling like I'm interested in. And then one of those people who gets hyper fixated on things and it sticks with me forever.
Right.
Well, I mean, you're in good company here, so.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I have however many computers out there right now, so it's like,
oh yeah,
it's nerd overload.
I saw the LAN party preparations, and I got a high school flashbacks. I'm like so excited to hear how that goes.
Nice, yeah. Well, you've had LAN parties before, or you've been part of some. Nice.
Don't tell my teacher I said this, but at Chico High, we put together a bunch of scrap computers with some of the e-waste computers, and set up a LAN party in one of the rooms, and like 40 people were playing.
Holy cow. What were you guys playing?
Halo.
Dang. All right. That's what we're playing tomorrow. We're going to play Halo 2 and Quake 2, and then the kids want to play Marvel Rivals. So I said, sure.
Heck yeah.
Fine. I actually like it. David doesn't know it, but he might play it in the future. We'll see.
What, Halo or Marvel Rivals?
I'll let you. No, it's Marvel Rivals. But yeah, we're going to do it tomorrow. It's going to be the first time it's not here at the house, so it's going to be at the church. And so I'm like, I feel like we need a little bit more room. So it's going to be fun. It's going to be good. I bet you it already was fun because this will be in the future, Be like, hey, it was already good,
There you go.
Yeah.
So
Wesley did a
seats only-
flip.
It's only moving
Wesley
up.
did a flip over Buff Jesus, I think is his name. So Stephanie called me David, and her coworker Buff Jesus, as my nephews call him at her work, is going to
Buff Jesus?
That's what his name's James,
Are you talking about the improv guy?
No, that's her brother John.
Oh, right.
Her coworker, the kids call him Buff Jesus because they say he looks like Jesus. I've never met the guy, and his name's James.
He does a lot of bulking.
Yeah, I'm gonna say Buffet Jesus as his intro name. So. Anyway, yeah, Buff Jesus. Well, that's awesome. A LAN party, and nobody caught you guys. playing
Well,
Halo.
the teacher knew, but it was scrap computers, so he
Okay,
didn't care
yeah.
too much.
Nice.
It wasn't a
nice.
big deal.
Did anybody take any computers home?
No. in
No.
quotation
Okay, I
marks.
got you. All right. You guys can't see what he did with his hands in the air. He did not make quotation marks. Well, nice. So Jacob, that's awesome. You're in great company right now, and we're in good company with you.
Glad to be.
Right on. All right. So let's I figured let's just get into some questions, and we'll just go through these and see where the conversation goes. And David, you've never heard some of these. I will say that. I did throw some in from our Q&A that were just out of nowhere. Like the birds one. We'll say that for later, but
Very
we're going to go through
interesting.
some questions. We're going to all answer them, and I'm just excited to get into it. So, first off, if you were stranded, Jacob and David, on a desert island, what are the 3 things you'd bring? No holds barred. Jacob, I'm going to go with you first. What was the first thing you're bringing?
Okay. Immediately, my brain says my multi-tool, my Leatherman.
Oh, Leatherman.
Yeah.
All right, cool.
Carry it basically everywhere with me, and I doubt I would go to this desert island without it.
Okay. All right. David, what's the first thing you're bringing?
That's first thing I bring.
No holds
mean-
barred. It could be anything.
Food and water, I guess.
What about an iceberg? Would you bring an iceberg to the
Would I bring an iceberg?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I might bring a rabbit hole though.
What's a rabbit hole?
That was a
Oh,
joke
okay.
about the blah 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 iceberg.
Oh,
Oh,
yes.
Art.
Okay.
Like YouTube video archetype.
Oh,
Yeah, it's
okay,
perfect.
Yeah.
Go
Yeah,
down.
that was a terrible
Go
joke.
down the
I
iceberg
think
rabbit
I think
hole.
you're like reference Juggernaut or something. I was gonna be like early YouTube. But I think for me, I would bring oh God. I would bring my pocket knife. I don't have a Leatherman, but I've seen them and they're pretty dope. In fact, I actually accidentally, in quotes, stole one from my buddy Steven one time. I was at his house, I was checking out his new PC setup, and on his wife's desk there was a multi-tool, and so I grabbed it jokingly because I was just hanging out with them that night. I was gonna like pop it up on the coffee table or whatever.
Mhm.
I think they were playing Magic, so I was gonna just put it on the Magic table, and I was like, "Hey, here you go." And I totally forgot it was in my pocket, and I took it home for a week. And then I brought it back. I'm like, "Hey, Steven, this is yours. I'm really sorry." And then he's like, "Oh, actually, that's my brother-in-law's."
Wasn't even
And I was like, "What?" So yeah, it was Ethan's fault. It was so funny. I don't know. I'd go with the pocket knife. We'll start with that. So
Okay.
What's your second one?
on Amazon.
Uh,
I saw this thing a while ago.
you're gonna bring an Amazon delivery truck to the island.
Obviously. Obviously just like my phone, so I can Amazon delivery everything. I like drone
They
delivery.
got airdrops, you know.
Anyways, it was a hand crank lighter, like electric lighter,
Okay, yeah.
like
I've
compass,
seen those.
like
For camping.
USB port, all sorts of things on there.
Oh, whoa!
Um,
They make them with those now.
so I have my like steel multi-tool and then my electric multi-tool.
All right. Nice, Jacob.
Just
or
as
David.
many tools as I can get.
as many tools you get, yeah, in one.
Yeah.
There you go. What we got, David?
Let's see. I mean, I guess speaking of Amazon,
Ooh,
I understand that you can buy an entire kit to build like a tiny home on Amazon and have
That's
it
pretty
just
good.
Yeah.
delivered to your door. So that sounds like a good thing to bring. Instead of, building shelter out of sticks and banana leaves, have an actual house on this desert island.
Banana leaves. Oh, yeah. You got to save the banana leaves. They're important.
Yeah, they're
They have many
vital.
uses, we'll say. So.
Banana leaves
you
are
need some
essentially like
they're huge.
the non-Western world aluminum foil.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You mean third world aluminum foil is what you're telling me. Or fourth world. There's a one step down.
Is there a fourth world?
I think there's a fourth world.
I don't think there's a fourth
I
world.
don't.
All right. Well, my second. So you would pick a house. Build your
Yes.
own house. I would want to say that too, but I want to be different. So I'm going to say I'm bringing a giant iceberg with me. And it's just I'm going with a bunch of bowls. Like I can only pick one thing. So the iceberg is what I'll pick. I have a lot of drinking water. It's huge. It's not going to melt for like months at a time, maybe, but it will melt. I'm on a desert island, but I'm bringing an iceberg with me. So
You can create like a Superman style fortress.
yes, my own
That-
fortress of solitude. That's like consistently melting every day.
Honestly, if you have the whole iceberg, you might just be able to like hollow it out and float away.
Oh yeah, exactly. So there we go. All right, Jacob, your last one.
Probably like seeds to like exotic fruits and stuff. Start like farming.
Okay, nice. What kind of seeds? What are you farming though?
I don't know.
Like tomatoes? Or...
Yeah, like basically anything I
cucumbers?
could get seeds for. Of like tomatoes, cucumbers, like watermelon.
Whoa. Okay.
Start doing strawberries. Got to have strawberries.
Oh, I
don't
did
think I could like live without.
I did write
strawberries.
desert island, but there's ground underneath that sand, right?
Then maybe I should rephrase. I need soil and
Yeah, you need
seeds.
soil and seeds. So
Change my
a
second
garden
answer.
kit.
Garden kit. There
that's
we go.
like a giant box. Like, in the Uncharted where like he's falling down from the airplane, he's hanging onto it.
Yeah,
One of
exactly.
those boxes are your own home garden, basically. So there you go.
Yeah, that works.
So, all right, David, what's your third one?
Third thing. Doo-doo-doo. I mean, I suppose I'd have to have some kind of reading material.
Yeah.
Yes. It's because you're going to be there. You might be there for a long time.
This is
You know.
true.
What kind of reading material are you talking about? You
No, the
bring the
question's
Bible.
just
You have
what
your
to pick
phone
now.
with you.
I mean, can we, like, let's say the entire Library of Alexandria. That's what I'll bring.
That's where it went.
They've been looking for that.
I've been looking for
Because
that.
you did say no holds barred.
no,
you
right?
did.
So the whole Library of New Alexandria.
Reach through time and bring the whole Library of
What did it-
Alexandria with me.
I need to Google this. When did it get burned down? Let's see. Typed in
See if this is
Google
possible.
was not. Come on, Google.com. There we go. All right.
Yeah, the question is, did it burn down or was that just a cover up?
Here we go. Of Alexandria burn. It's like the first one that popped. 48 BCE. So that'd be BC. Is that right?
Yes.
Because the new BCE is like, it's confusing to me.
BCE is BC, CE is AD.
Oh, CE
Yeah.
is AD.
Okay, so
'Cause
it's
it stands for
before current
common
era?
C
Common
is
era?
common era.
Okay.
And so BCE stands for
Dang.
before common era. And then you have to ask, well, what historical event made that era the common era?
Yeah, exactly.
And I think that's a topic for a different time.
Yeah, that's a topic for a different time. But yeah, it's funny. It's like, yeah, Julius Caesar burned that sucker down. Or no, wait, it's got a couple things here. But yeah, it's basically 48 BC. So, okay. AD, as they also call it, right?
Sure,
Is that
why
right?
not?
I don't know. My brain, it's been a long day. So anyway, my third thing I'd bring the whole entire Marine Corps. I'd bring the whole entire Marine Corps with me. And just, we would, because those guys are resourceful. They'd get me out of there. And
No
we could
holds
figure
barred.
it out. No holds barred.
Being like thousands of people with you.
People, I don't know how long we'd last, but we could figure out. We got tools.
Yeah.
They got 50-pound packs on them. We'll be fine.
Yeah.
We got plenty of food. MREs.
Figure something out.
It's gonna be great. Yeah, we're gonna figure something out. So that's what I'd pick. All right, next question. All right, let's get to that. What illegal? I forgot we had this one on The Q&A, David. David, I'm going to pass it to you. What illegal animal would you have as a pet? I don't even remember if you answered this one last time.
I don't even remember that one being asked.
Yeah.
But I don't remember a lot of things, so.
Illegal
animal.
Yeah.
That's a difficult question.
I'm just trying to think of what's illegal.
Well, probably
I mean,
lions, maybe?
there's so many animals that if, say, I owned one here, would have the police knocking on my door.
Mm-hmm.
But
especially in California, you never know, man.
which one would I want
Animal
to
do
pick?
you got in there?
That's a difficult question.
Mm-hmm.
Might have to think about this one a little bit.
Okay, well, let's go to me. I'm going to say flying squirrel.
Yeah?
Yeah. Apparently you can get them in Oregon. So, yeah, I know.
Not,
that's a
not
thing.
too far.
And there's a person I talked to. It may or may not have been at Butte College, but this person told me that, yeah, there's a flying squirrel sanctuary in Oregon, and somewhere in the Trinity Forest, there's people that you can talk to help get them. And I said, really? And they said, yes. In fact, I can get you one if you want. I'm good, but I don't want to get illegal too quick. But that's interesting. Flying squirrels as pets. I've seen videos of people having them in their house. Doesn't look like it's a smart idea. Also, you need a lot of space in the ceiling area. So,
Yeah.
Probably wouldn't work too good in our house, but I don't know. Flying squirrel's my pick. What about you, Jacob?
I'm just trying to think. Are turkeys illegal to have in California?
Not if you live out in the country.
Okay. Let's say I live in the city and I just keep a turkey.
As long as they don't,
Yeah.
I mean, in
don't know,
most towns and cities, chickens are
chickens
illegal.
are illegal. Yeah.
So I would imagine the turkeys would be illegal too.
Yeah.
It's a different feathered bird. It's like a parrot. It's just a little bigger. It doesn't fly.
I live kind of on the outskirts of Chico, and you still see them from time to time.
Yeah. I love seeing them drive by. I just try to not hit them.
Yeah,
because it's like they're just in the way.
Exactly.
Move, guys! Come on. Where are you guys going?
But yeah, probably like a turkey or two, something like that.
Yeah.
Big bird.
Big bird. So, David, you got an answer?
It's a tough question.
This is tough. Yeah.
I mean, like, there's so many I could choose. Narrowing it down to just one. That's so difficult. If I was gonna start this like
elephant,
hypothetical,
maybe like a chimera,
illegal
chimera,
start
the mythical creature,
hypothetical illegal animal sanctuary. I mean, they're like, what would be the one that would start it all?
Yeah, I don't know.
You know what?
Like
I'll say
chupacabra. Well, it's not
chupacabra.
It's not real, but
Yeah,
or it might not be. Might be. Real.
I mean,
who knows?
Are cryptids illegal?
The Jersey Devil.
I kind of
You can do it. I believe you.
I kind of maybe like a big cat of some kind. Yeah, like
tiger.
Like a tiger.
You could. What are you gonna feed it?
Or a liger.
Oh yeah, liger.
Just for the cool. Just
That's
for the
a good
cool
answer.
factor.
Cool factor.
Just for the cool factor.
Those things are huge too. They get massive. From what I've seen.
That would be intense, pet.
Yeah. Tiger and a lion. There you go.
Mm-hmm.
All right, Jacob.
Okay.
This is a really important question. Seriously, here we go. You ready?
Yeah.
Did we land on the moon? Did we really land on the moon?
This could go a lot of directions. I'm going to say yes. I'm going to say yes, we did.
Okay.
I'm going to say there's a lot of conspiracies that I can agree with.
Yeah. Sure.
But this is not one of them. I know too many like NASA nerds.
I thought you were going to say I know Buzz
too
Aldrin,
many. Yeah, I know Buzz Aldrin. No, I know too many people who want to go into like aerospace and stuff that like if they didn't have that passion, I wouldn't believe it. Like I would think it's some made up thing, but seeing the way that people care about that, it's got to be real.
I mean, I don't know. People have passion for a lot of made up things.
Actually, you got a good point. David, you got a really good point there.
Yeah, I mean, we just talked about the chupacabra, so
Well, I mean,
a lot of people are passionate about finding out that sucker, and they believe he's real.
who knows?
You know what's a good book I'd like to recommend you is it's called Tales of the Inverted World. It's on Amazon. You can find it. This guy named Shane Cashman wrote it, and he basically went out and interviewed people that told folk tales and told stuff of local history of UFO sightings, different animal stuff they found out, just things in the sky, things on land, things in the water, old
Interesting.
haunted houses. Really cool.
The
Tales
whole
of the Inverted
Gravity
World.
Falls, everything.
Yeah, basically, yeah. It's a good book. I think I went through half of it, and I need to finish it because it was a fun read. So, Tales of the Inverted World. But
Okay.
what are we on? Oh yeah, the moon. The moon. What do you think, David?
I mean, the boring answer is yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
The more exciting answer is like,
Maybe.
what's his face in the X-Files? I want to believe,
Yeah.
and all those kooky conspiracies are actually true on some level.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I don't know. This and flat Earth. I mean, this and flat Earth are two of the things that are like, I just can't believe it. As much as it would be cool to believe that sort of thing, I'd really like to. But I just can't bring myself
It's
to.
funny because I remember when we were asked,
That is
I think Thad asked this on the Q&A we did, and I want to say that
who?
My brother Thad.
Oh.
I want to say it was like we really like blazed through that question, but I was like thinking about it later, and I'm like, I've heard like I listened to the full Joe Rogan episode of the guy. He had the guy on that doesn't believe it and has the whole website.
Yeah.
And I'm like, he makes a good case, but he's just a little bit too. The way he delivers his message is a little questionable for me.
It's
where
a
I'm like,
little,
I don't know if I
little
buy
scripted.
it. Not scripted. It's like he's a little too out there, you know. With not trying to be rude, but yeah, the guy when you listen to him, he kind of sounds a little out there. Like you got to take a big grain of salt with it. And I feel like it's more plausible we didn't go to the moon versus the Earth is flat. I don't think it's flat at all. Like,
definitely.
have you guys ever watched the famous? It was recommended to me years ago, and I never knew where this guy would go. But Logan Paul did a video where he went and infiltrated the Flat Earth Society and went to Flat Earth Convention in I think Las Vegas or something. And dude, it's like documentary style. And also like mixed in with drama, but it's like full like if Logan Paul went and was like a flat earther for a day or like a cultist for a day, that's what this episode was like. It was like 40 minutes, like a show. It was straight up like a show. And like they had a whole thing of him falling in love with a girl at the Flat Earth Society and her breaking up with him when he like said he was a flat earther. You know, it's like, what's going on? You got to look it up. Like I don't know what the video's called, but it was a fun watch. And I don't care for Logan Paul's stuff, but
it was
that video was really interesting, and he went to the Flat Earth Society, and they accept him. They're like, "Whoa, this is awesome!"
I did not know. I didn't know that there was a Flat Earth Society.
Apparently.
Oh yeah, there is.
And this was like 2018, 19 when I watched this video.
Wow.
So it's been a while, but
I'm still convinced that the whole flat Earth thing is just a giant troll. Yeah, I mean, yes, the Flat Earth Society exists, but I think it exists more to make fun of that sort of thing than anything else. That's my own personal theory because, like, flat Earth is kind of a ridiculous proposition. Like the idea, like the simple fact that the sun goes down instead of gradually shrinking, like, is kind of
the logic behind
like you really can't have the sun going down over the under the horizon with a flat Earth. It just doesn't work that way. I mean, I guess you could if it was like a floating disc in space, but if you talk to most flat earthers to expand on their belief system, they don't believe space exists. So you can't have the floating disc in space if the world is simply a giant flat plane with nothing else.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That is interesting.
Yeah, it's because I've seen people like talk about like this is why it's flat, and I'm like, I don't buy it. Sorry, pal.
Yeah,
like it's
like
provable that we're not
circles
it's
and
not
everything.
Flat, you know. And then that connects to the moon landing thing. Like we didn't land on the moon. It's like, Nah, come on, guys.
I mean, yeah, if
I
the
think
Earth
it's
was
plot-
flat, then
yeah.
yes, we didn't land on the moon.
And there's that,
Yeah,
that-
exactly.
And what's that movie that came out where it was Channing Tatum, Scarlett Johansson, and it was about him playing Neil Armstrong and about them kind of faking the moon landing? Did you ever hear about that? Like they shot
heard
it
of this.
just in case it didn't work or something like that.
Oh,
I think it's
what?
on Netflix. I can't remember what the film's called. It came out last year. But it's about them going to the moon, and they're like, what if it doesn't work? What if we can't make it all the way there? Like, it seems like it's plausible, but they do film some stuff. And I think they even have somebody playing Stanley Kubrick in it or something like that.
wow.
Like, it's hilarious. Like, I was like, the trailer's out there.
That is kind of the leading theory among moon deniers, right? That Stanley Kubrick shot
Which is so
shot
weird.
the film.
At least, you know what? It's funny that they say he did it, but it's like you think the eccentric man he was, the talented man he was, you didn't think he would make it look like his art, you know? Like he maybe played it a little bit too safe for the role of the government. It's like, would he even do that? What kind of dirt did they have on him?
I don't think Stanley Kubrick would agree to make a moon film to cover up the truth.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It's just like from what I've read of him, that doesn't seem like he would even do that.
Yeah.
Which is funny that that's even like the theory.
Maybe it was maybe it was like it's not blackmail, but it's like the other kind of blackmail where it's like they don't have dirt on you, but it's like, hey, your best bud who works at NASA is like, hey, Stanley, I know this sounds crazy, but could you come do a favor for us? Because you're my best friend, bro. Like we've been through thick and thin, you know. Like maybe it's that kind of blackmail. Where
I don't know. Considering
you got to do
it's
this
like
for the
guilt
government.
tripping.
Yeah, guilt tripping. You know,
considering that this, like, we're talking about the guy who made Eyes Wide Shut, it seems like he'd be more interested in exposing this sort of thing than helping to cover it up.
It was a different time, though. Let's be fair. Anyway, all right, let's move on.
Who knows?
So I would say yes, we did move. We did. Hopefully in the future we do, but because there's oil in them moon mountains.
There's oil in there.
There's oil in
There's gold in them lunar hills.
Exactly.
There is some kind of it's funny I say that because there is some kind of source scientists have discovered on there that could be like used for energy resources.
Interesting.
And it's, I think, what's his name? You ever seen the film October Sky with Jake Gyllenhaal? All right, so that's about Homer Hickam, who's a NASA scientist.
Okay.
And it's a great movie, great book too, Rocket Boys. And he wrote a young adult fiction novel about us on the moon, and it's like a science fiction novel. But it's like the whole concept is there is a resource on there, and he based it on a real resource that they did discover scientifically.
Ooh.
So it's like there might be some gold in them lunar hills. You never know. Not gold, oil. Might be some oil in them lunar hills.
Something's probably useful up there.
Yeah. All right. Well, let's get a little philosophical with this next question here, and a little personal as well. So here we go. If Jake, me, was a fly on a wall of some part of your life, and you did something that was either extravagant or whatever, or crazy or whatever, or terrible or whatever, what would Jake, as a fly on the wall in that situation, witness? What would that be?
Oh my.
Yeah.
This is
Like, did you save somebody's life accidentally? Did you accidentally cheat somebody out of like $10,000? Did you cheat on a test and you won and the whole class knew about it, but nobody found out? I don't know. What do you guys got?
It's an interesting question because I have to reveal that I've done something.
You don't have to reveal you did. So, yeah, never mind.
Yeah, that's
You
kind
got
of
me
the
on
point of the
that,
question.
Let's see. Yeah.
Let me
And
think.
I could answer
What's a decent
one of you guys witnessing
story?
me. So I'm trying to think. It's funny. I should have thought of this before I answered it. Asked it.
Here's something that I think I've only told a few people.
Oh, no.
And I feel bad about it to this day. But
You shot
it
Reagan?
wasn't.
No, I'm joking.
But it wasn't nearly
You're not that old.
No. But anyways, in middle school, my middle school was right next to a pond. Not this pond. There were turtles.
Okay.
And one of the girls from my class was at the pond I had to walk through, like, not through the pond, obviously, but around the pond to go to my house because I always walked home.
Okay.
She was at the pond and she was messing with the turtles. And she was like poking them and like rolling them over. And I was like distraught being like 8 years, or not 8. I was in middle school. So whatever, like 12.
Okay.
I was like distraught that she was doing this. And she had set her bag down next to part of the lake. And she didn't know that I was there at any point. I just saw her messing with the turtles. And I just pushed her bag into the water.
Whoa! And so she didn't see you?
No.
Whoa! So you pushed the bag in and then walked away?
Yeah, and just like pushed it in. Like it wasn't all the way in floating around. It was just whatever was in the bottom was wet. And I feel bad about it because that girl, her name was Katie. She didn't really deserve it. I mean, she's a little kid messing with a turtle. She like didn't deserve to fail all of her homework, but it still had happened. And never mess with turtles around me, apparently.
All right. Interesting.
There's no metaphorical wall in that situation, but fly on like a tree in the park.
Fly on a tree.
Next to the pond, something like that.
Yeah, I don't know what I would think about that, but I couldn't say anything because I'd be a fly. Well, all right. Gotcha. All right. Well, hopefully Katie out there is not listening to this and she then, maybe she is, and she's like, oh, shoot, I know that guy.
Okay.
My bag, I don't know. I had my dad's PhD was in there, you know, and it ruined it. It was the only copy for some reason.
Who knows?
Who knows?
All of my family's birth certificates just gone.
She had all the social security cards just out in her bag at school, you know?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. David, what do you got?
Let's see. I mean, there's so many things that I've done, both good and bad in my life. Are any of them worth mentioning in the concept of somebody witnessing them?
Because the argument also is, are you really alone? You know, because there's God, of course, but there's also like, you know, if you don't believe in that, there could be other things. I think, well, God, I think
spooky ghosts.
Maybe your like great grandfather's like your guardian angel, and he's like, "What that was messed up, David? What the heck?"
I don't know.
Or I'm proud of you, boy.
The only thing that's really coming into my mind, it's not really a bad thing that I did, but it's like a bad thing that happened to me, and that is technically my fault, although it wasn't really like something I did out of malice. Is I came pretty close to killing me and my brother one day by sending us both falling down the stairs.
Oh, I remember you telling me about this.
What happened?
So at the time we lived in an old, very, very old house, had a very, very steep, high staircase to the second floor. And I don't remember how old I was. I must have been like 10 or 11, something like that, because this was Matt, for those who know him.
Not Matt.
And I don't remember how old he was. He was young enough where I was carrying him around.
Okay.
I don't remember if he was like a toddler or what, but I was carrying him around, and I was essentially babysitting. And we were both upstairs for some reason. I don't remember why, but we were upstairs, and I picked him up to carry him down the stairs, and I slipped right on the first step and tumbled all the way down. And that could have ended really badly. But miraculously, he was completely unhurt. And I think I got like a nosebleed.
Dang. Okay. Whoa. But you protected your baby brother. Dang.
Yeah. That could have gone very differently.
Could have been bad. And, explains a lot for Matt, you know. I'm joking.
Well, I mean, Matt suffered some things, because on that subject, he also once got attacked by Jacob with
his younger brother.
Okay.
Yes. Yeah. With a fabric cutter.
Oh my god.
Oh my.
Like, the rolling ones.
Yeah, what the heck? Dude.
Yeah, the two of them were messing around. I didn't actually witness this because I was somewhere else in the house, and I think my sister witnessed it, but
Whoa.
I wasn't there. Yeah, so they were messing around in the sewing room, and Matt was doing something that Jacob didn't like, and they were both really young. They weren't toddlers anymore. Like, they were at the age where they could talk, but they were both still really young.
Gotcha.
But I don't remember exactly how young they were. And yeah, Matt was doing something that Jacob didn't like, and Jacob got really, really, really angry and picked up the fabric cutter and hit him with it.
Oh my God.
Probably not realizing that it was extremely sharp.
Yeah.
And like got him right across the forehead.
Dang.
Had this big old gash that he had to get stitches for.
Whoa.
That is
Man, that's hard. That's
yeah,
crazy.
sharp objects around kids
Yeah. Watch out,
Yeah.
little kids. You don't want to mess with a fabric cutter. Or David's little brother, Jacob.
Yeah.
You know?
yeah. If we want to talk about sharps around kids, I've got too many stories.
Oh, no. Well, what's one of those stories if you want to reveal it?
Another kid I went to middle school with,
Uh-huh.
he had a really cloudy eye with one strike across it.
Oh, he's a pirate.
Yeah, he just couldn't
Basically.
see out of that eye. His other eye was fine.
Oh, okay.
And it wasn't messed up so bad that he needed to wear something over it or like get a glass eye or something.
Okay.
But people always asked him like, what happened to your eye? And for a long time, he never told the story. Like throughout, he had transferred to the school and he was like afraid to tell the story.
Whoa.
But eventually, like at lunch, we were talking and he told the story to me. And when he was a little kid, his dad worked at some place where they packaged a lot of goods to ship them off. And his dad had brought him to school or brought him to his work. And he was only like 3 or 4. And there was a box cutter lying on a table.
God.
And he was just like having a temper tantrum about something. He doesn't remember what it was anymore, but he had picked it up and he was flailing around being a little kid. And it went up in his eye where it wasn't supposed to.
Jeez.
And
Whoa.
yeah, sorry to get gory
Yeah,
for
dang,
the
that's
audience,
hardcore.
but like
Well, it's
sharps
funny.
around kids are
sharp.
dangerous.
Well,
Be
speaking
careful.
Of sharp, my answer to this question, like if I had you guys, like if you guys were in a fly, you guys were probably could have been flies in the house. I don't know, but I was all alone in the house. I got home from work. I was making dinner, and God, it was probably like 6:30 or something. I don't know. I think either David, you were gone, or you were already, sleeping to get ready for work or something. Like. So I'm like, I was all alone in the house. Nobody was home. Nobody. And then I have this knife, one of our sharper knives, or like kitchen knives. And I was holding it and I was doing some dishes and then I grabbed it and then I accidentally dropped it. It slipped out of my hand and I was walking in the direction of the knife. And then I'm walking and boom, it's falling. And I kind of like catch it with my hand. And then it as I'm walking forward, it goes like toward my gut, like toward my belly. And it and I was like, oh, and I stop and I pull it away from me. And there was a tiny bit of blood, just a smidge on the edge, like the tip of it. And I was like, I gotta stop. I'm like, and I pulled it away. I'm like, holy shit. I was like, holy, like, what the hell? And then
unintentionally
I look, I
suffocated.
pull my shirt up and I'm like, oh, and there's just a tiny little, stab, tiny. I didn't even feel it. It was that sharp.
Wow.
And then a little bit of blood, a few drops came out, but dude, it was scary. Cause I was walking in that direction. I stopped.
Dang.
So I feel like it's, speaking of guardian angels, I think it was guardian angels protecting me. Cause I'm like, dude, that would have been bad. Right into my belly.
The ancestors were with you on that one.
Yeah, there you go. That's right. It's funny. There's an old fellow out here who used to live out here who died. His name was Dick, and he used to come to our church. Old smelly guy, right? But he was great guy. Great guy. Old smelly guy, but he was great. And
It's a good character
passed away
description.
sadly years ago. And I have a funny thought whenever stuff like that happens that he's my guardian angel now since he died, and now he's watching over me. And I'm like, did you see? Whoa. Like, Mr. Larson, did you see that? Whoa. So that's what's going through my mind after this happened. I'm like,
so you have a smelly Speedo wearing guardian angel.
I wasn't going to mention the Speedos, David.
What happened with the Speedos?
Okay, so he used to come to my grandpa's pool.
I need to know.
And he would use that as his bath. He would just swim and for exercise, but he would also use it as his bath because he's an old smelly guy, right?
Okay.
And he would legend in that around this area. Yes, he did wear Speedos.
Yeah, he wore Speedos all the time.
All the time, and it was very disturbing.
Yeah.
Yep. Definitely.
Thad told us a great story, which I'm not going to say on the podcast, but if people want to know more about how our pastor handled it, you should talk to Thad. It's a great story, but anyway, it won't be mentioned today. I'll tell you after when we're not recording. Anyway, okay, the next question, a little bit more silly. Or
More
serious.
silly?
Or serious.
Okay.
Are birds real, Jacob? Are they, what are they?
This goes another possible conspiracy answer.
Mm-hmm.
I think most birds are real.
Okay.
But not all of them. I can't really speak for the intelligence of birds, but I've seen a lot of birds that seem pretty dumb for something that must have survived for millions of years to become what it is.
Oh.
So maybe those ones aren't real birds.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And definitely the conspiracy of like government bird spies and stuff has been around for a long time.
Okay.
That one I've heard a lot of. And I'm not saying like every bird out there, just like, I don't know, one in a million was probably a drone.
Yeah, we have around here. We have a lot of turtle doves that are in pairs. So I believe those guys are real.
Yeah,
But all the smaller ones, the ravens, the bluebirds, the mockingjays.
I mean,
Excuse me, mockingbirds.
Yeah,
The
mockingjays. Yeah, wait a
I went
minute.
full Hunger Games there.
Yeah.
My bad. Yeah, the mockingjays. Yeah,
I mean,
they exist in this world.
even in like animal habitats when they're trying to see how animals are doing in their ecosystem, like scientists will make fake birds to observe.
That's a proven fact. Yes, and like it's
So
weird,
bam,
huh?
not all birds are real.
I don't know. What do you think, David? I don't know about this one. I think
boring answer is yes, birds are real. More fun answer, I think, is more along the lines of my moon landing answer is I want to believe.
I want to believe.
It would be so amazing to be one of those kooky conspiracy theorists.
They do have a lot of fun.
But I don't know if I could. I don't know if I could bring myself to believe that, the government is constructing highly detailed, fully autonomous bird drones to spy on us, especially when we give them access to our information anyway.
Yeah, we literally carry around microphones and transceivers all the time.
And
on our cell phones.
did you guys know that every cell phone has satellite capability?
Yeah.
Like straight up. And I learned this last year on the fires because there's an app you can get, anybody can download it. It's called Avenza Maps, and it's for hiking and trails. But also if you're lost in the wilderness, it's a great resource. And you can actually download different packs of different states that gives you all the maps of all the counties, and you can zoom in. It'll track you as a little dot anywhere. Even if you don't have service, it'll still track you.
Well, yeah, GPS doesn't need service. It's just constantly being sent from the upper atmosphere.
So with that information, I would say most birds are real. But I don't know if any of them are fake out here. I don't know. That's a good question. Maybe they are, David, and they're trying to sneak into the Snarp Fangle Productions.
Oh, yeah. They want to. They want to learn our secret sauce.
Yeah.
What makes this show so great to the 12 people who watch it.
All right, with that, let's.
Maybe they're not people. Maybe they're birds.
It's the CIA. They're making us think that
it's the birds.
There's 12 people watching this. They're listening. So
that's not what I meant.
I don't know. I don't know anymore. I don't think birds are real. Okay. What did I write next? I'm trying to find out where we were. Well, on that note, what's the most messed up thing you guys did as a kid?
Ooh.
You've already
Yeah,
revealed quite a bit,
mine's
Jacob.
pretty bad.
Destroyed
Maybe not-
some family's precious documents.
Who knows? Katie may have gone home in bad shape that day.
No.
I still
Dad,
regret
did you
it.
say that's your answer?
Unless I think of something worse.
Okay.
There's still the possibility that I'll remember.
And she just came home. She's like, "Daddy, I took all your important financial papers and our social security cards in my bag, and then some kid pushed it into the water."
Honey, all our life savings were in your backpack.
all of her bonds when she gets older, they're gone. The turtles ate them.
Honey,
Yeah, it was the
we're
turtle.
ruined.
We're ruined.
Okay.
Oh man. All right, David, what's the most messed up thing you ever did as a kid?
Messed up thing. I mean, I did plenty of messed up things. I was a little shit when I was younger. I was not a great person.
Oh my.
I share some similarities, actually. I was very ornery and very, very difficult as a child, we'll say.
Let's see. Worst thing. I don't know. I don't know what the worst thing would be.
Messed up. Like
Messed up.
Yeah.
Something really messed up. Let's see. One thing that sticks out to me, I don't know if it's the worst or the most messed up, but
Okay.
it definitely sticks out to me, is I tried to capitalize on the bullying of one of my classmates when I was like in second grade.
Second grade.
That's pretty early.
Whoa.
Like
Get it out of the way. Early,
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
I said, I wasn't a good person when I was young. I mean, I don't know if I'm a good person now, but definitely wasn't then.
You've come a long way.
Let's see. So yeah, there was this girl in our class who, she wasn't like disliked, but she was just kind of like, she was just like one of the weird kids,
Okay.
like loner, awkward kind of thing, and she got like sort of like, I don't remember, it wasn't like outright people like pushing and shoving her, but like she was like sort of passively aggressively ostracized, I remember.
Mm.
And I remember I was trying to advance my social status or something, and I tried to capitalize on that. And like I said like out loud that nobody likes her.
Oh. Yeah.
Ow.
It didn't go well for me. They
caught you. As you said it in front of everybody.
Yes.
Yeah.
Nobody likes you.
But it was a little kid thing to say. Just
Yeah,
like,
it's like, you're
Nobody-
little kids, you're frustrated. I mean, that's just how kids are.
I don't even remember what like I was trying to necessarily accomplish. I was just being shitty.
Yeah.
well,
Maybe she pushed you
Common
to that
child
point,
activity.
Yeah, children are terrible.
Yeah,
Children are terrible.
Yeah, like I've had my fair share of having, babysitting kids, and sometimes they're just some of the worst people.
Just little assholes.
But yeah, exactly. But some little butt nuggets. But let me tell you, there's some like they have like some of the greatest imaginations and super fun to hang out with sometimes even more fun than just hanging out with your fellow adults sometimes. But in this
You had to bring
situation,
that into a positive direction, didn't you? You had to bring it. You couldn't just let that lie.
can I bring it down again? Let's bring it down again. Because the messed up thing I did, so there was 6 kids in our family, and I'm number 5. And Lexi is the 6th one. She's the youngest. And there was a time where I was in the den doing like schoolwork or whatever. And let me tell you, there was a confusion that happened, and I was just an observer of this all. And something happened in the house, and Mom tracked down Lexi and found out she did something, like maybe, I don't know, she put too much toilet paper in the toilet or something. I have no idea what it was. Something
Okay.
silly or something egregious. Maybe she burned important documents. I have no idea what she did. But apparently it was really bad to the point where my mom was like, or the whatever she was accused of doing or was assuming had done something, I knew for sure she just straight up didn't do it. Like at all.
Okay.
Like I could have, I went, I can vouch for her and say, hey, mom, she didn't do what you said. She's been here the entire time. And she was in like the next room, but I could see her right there.
Yeah.
And sure enough, mom comes in, gets like, apparently Lexi did some messed up stuff because she was like mad at her. And she's like, hey, why'd you do this, Alexis? And then Lexi's like, I didn't do it. And she's like crying because like, she's going to get a spanking, basically, is what's going to happen. And I just watched the whole thing from the den and I didn't say anything. Like I just let her have it. I'm like just sitting there like, yeah, that's going to get you.
Lexi didn't deserve that.
And I was like, I could have said something. I could have interjected and said, Mom, no, like Lexi didn't do anything, but I didn't.
Yep.
And it was just one of the messed up things I've ever done.
Lexi got it.
Lexi got it. She had it coming. All right, well, let's get a little bit more serious. Actually serious. So what, both of you guys, right now in this current season, well, actually, before we get into seasons, let's get into what's one of the greatest challenges you've overcome. You don't have to say in your whole life. You can if you want, but what's one of the greatest challenges you overcame, and how did you overcome it?
Do you want to start off, David, or?
You be my guest.
Well, okay then. I wouldn't say I've fully overcome it because it's like forever a struggle, but I've made so much progress that I'm happy with where I am. Social anxiety.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
For like forever, since I was a little kid, I had huge problems with just being comfortable talking to people. And if I was going to go to the store, I would set whatever I was buying on the counter and hand them my money and not say a word. People would say hello and I just would not respond because I was afraid to talk. But I mean, obviously I got older and it was a lot better getting through high school and having more friends and meeting more people, getting a little more comfortable with being out there. But even still, like, pretty uncomfortable. Started going to college, getting a little better. And then I joined the speech and debate team at Butte College. Totally different world.
Yeah.
Like, I've gone to family events since I've joined the team, and like my family is like, what has changed? Like they immediately are like, you're having a conversation with me right now. What's happening?
Oh, wow.
It's just like a total shift, just being in that culture. And when you go to do something at a competition, just like, well, I guess that doesn't make sense for the listeners yet, but when you do something competitively and you put so much effort into it, it comes a lot more naturally in normal life. So yeah, that was
I think that's really good. I think that's really commendable, man. Like I think a lot of people, especially like you and my generation, like we struggle with, and everybody to a certain extent, just social anxiety and talking to people.
Yeah, and with COVID too, like a lot of people struggled with it really bad.
When did you join the speech and debate team, by the way?
This last fall.
Oh,
like,
dang.
It's been such a huge change in such a small amount of time. Like if you had met me a year ago, I would never have gone up to help you with those papers. I would have never even said hi, really.
Oh, wow.
So it's a totally different world for me.
Wow. So a huge amount of growth from
Yeah.
where you were. So the Jacob basically from today back 2 years ago, we'll say, totally different person?
Socially, yeah. Like a lot of the same ideals, a lot of the same skills, but not the same, nowhere near as comfortable with people. Not that I'm saying like I'm perfect and like I can do anything, but I mean...
Nobody is, you know?
Nobody's perfect, but I've made progress, and I can go to a store and order a meal, and like go to a restaurant and order a meal and sit down by myself and not have a panic attack. So, not, yeah. Anyways,
How old are you, by the way, Jacob?
I am 20.
20. Gotcha.
Yeah, I turned 20 in January.
Dang. Well, happy late birthday.
Well, thank you.
Yeah, I
3
can
months ago.
imagine that. Because I mean, I was going through the pandemic as an adult, like I was in my early 20s, and that experience was like, this is a weird shift, and especially what we had to do to get work or to do work, at Butte College or even I was working at a restaurant at the time, and even then, I had to wear your mask and all this crazy stuff, and not knowing what through as an adult, it was frustrating and annoying and that kind of thing. But to look at it from the perspective of even the youth group kids at the time, and you as well in that generation, it's like it's a lot different.
Yeah. I mean, I spent my first 2 years of high school at home.
Wow. Dang.
Years. Yeah. We got our first like fall semester of my freshman year, and then from the rest of that until my junior year, I was just at home.
Wow. Dang.
But yeah.
And when did you actually go to the high school?
Started going back again in what year would that have been?
Like junior
2021.
2021.
Junior year.
Okay. Nice.
But yeah, it was
that's a big
an interesting time for sure.
That's a big shift for sure. And yeah, I knew seeing my nephews and nieces, what they had to go through. But it was pretty normal-ish, I'd say. They got to go back, I think, again, like 2021 or something like that. But yeah, like drive-through graduations and stuff like that. And I remember just talking to people who are older than me at the time, being like, this is a crazy thing we're going through, and I don't trust the government, or I do, or whatever. Controversy precedes all of that. But pros, it goes along with that. But it was interesting to see it from an adult's perspective. It's a speed bump, but somebody who's developing and who's absorbing the world,
it's a whole mountain.
Whole mountain. But I mean, obviously, you wish it would have been different going to an actual high school, maybe.
Yeah.
But do you think you're stronger because of that?
I don't know. I think there's a lot of things that I still did in that time. Like, it wasn't wasted 2 years. Yeah. I mean, I feel very computer savvy because I'd spent a lot of that time. Like, we wouldn't have had those 40 people LAN parties if I hadn't spent 2 years building a computer and being at home with it. And I don't know, it wasn't all bad, but it was mostly bad.
Yeah. Well, I think that's a huge thing to overcome in itself. And you could probably, and from an adult's perspective, I think you could probably argue, with time, it'll be better. But sometimes from you were a kid at that point, and from a kid's perspective, time goes by very slowly. And it seems like stuff like that can go on forever. And then honestly, for me, it did feel like forever. Like, it felt like we were online forever, So I know the college scene was different. They kept online because they could, and more younger kids and high schools didn't. They just went back earlier, which I think was the best bet. Like, they had to do it. We had to do it. It was like not a good way to. It was cool because there's people who dreamed of like going fully online with a lot of stuff in the college at that time. But we had to like fast track it. And at work, our department was the first one to go fully online and to get it done. And that's something I actually overcame during that time, was not just social anxiety, but communication. That's something I always struggle with in communication in general. But I remember I was MIA since COVID started, which was after that spring break in 2020. I was MIA for like a month. Like, I didn't respond to emails, no nothing. My sister was moving at the time, so I was helping her, and I was spending a lot of time helping her go through her stuff, moving from one city to the next in California here. And it was a big task. So I checked my email and stuff like that, but I never responded because I'm like, what is going on? And then I missed like webinars and some meetings, and then people were asking like, where's Jake? And then my supervisor, and this is one thing I love about some of the people in my life have done to me, is kick me in the butt at the right time to get me going. And one of them was my boss or my supervisor, Analia, who you don't know, but you might know if you're here next semester because she's coming back to work.
Okay.
She's on maternity leave. She had a baby. So cool.
Congratulations to her.
But yeah. And little girl, and I think she just passed 1 year old. So pretty cool. Yeah.
Yeah.
But anyway, yeah, she texted me and went full mom mode and was like, "Where the hell are you?" I was like, "Oh no!" And so I was like, "Oh shoot!" And I was like sitting on the couch in there. I just got back from helping my sister, and I was like, I was like fully like super irresponsible, just procrastinating, not doing any communication whatsoever. And she's like, "If you're not back, like there's going to be issues. Like you need to come back now." And so I hopped on a Zoom call that same day, that night, and talked to people and caught up on some things. And I got my schedule and all that stuff. So it was a big learning experience. And also during that time, it was, when I was applying for the full-time position, like I was temporary at that point, but I was going to be permanent. And I think it was right before that period started where they were going to have the permanent position open. And I'm really glad I did get in that time because it was like one thing led to another. And then I was able to apply in time and eventually got the job. But yeah, that was a big learning experience for me that I had to overcome and figure out communication. And even last season on the fire, like I get pretty anxious when I have to answer a phone, like at least a year ago. Jake a year ago would have to do that. Yeah. But after the fires and having to make literally sometimes 80 phone calls, and a special case, it was like 80 phone calls in like a matter of 2 days. That social anxiety with phones are gone. Picking up the phone and also working at the restaurant, I had to answer phones. So it's like, that was a big thing for me to overcome. And for you, I would say, yes, it's partly time, but it's what you take away during that time and what you're doing in that season of life. And what you can take away from it, what you learn. So, but yeah. Well, David, is there has there been a big thing you've overcome in your life that you're proud of and you'd like to share?
Let's see. Let's see. I guess if I had to say, I think I've talked about this on the podcast before. I guess I would have to pick overcoming depression. That was a big thing. Yeah, it was just kind of like high school to right out of high school. I was just basically like my life essentially sort of ground to a halt. Like I didn't want to do anything. I didn't have any like vision or plan for my life, kind of a thing. I didn't know where I wanted to go. I was just kind of like, it was just kind of like to the point where like I didn't even, most days, like I barely had a reason to get out of bed, But yeah, and eventually I kind of, like I'd always been a person of faith, but my faith was kind of flagging like in those days, and I was becoming unsure of what I had previously believed. And yeah, so I was just able to find a community of people who sort of reignited my faith, helped me to find purpose, Yeah. And basically, it was just through regrounding myself in faith and having a community of people around who really wanted to see me succeed, I was able to overcome that.
Yeah. Having that sense of community makes a huge difference.
Actually, it's funny because I remember when you first moved in here, it was interesting. It was like, oh, it's David. Like, we know David. And then I got to get to know you more throughout the years. But it was funny because I remember adults in my life at that time, I don't know what time this was, but there was one time where I remember hearing like Nancy, my mom, other people talk about David, and they're saying like, yeah, we're praying for him. Like, we don't know what he's going through right now, but it's I think he's struggling with something like, something like that. That was the conversation. And there'd be people praying for you and talking about you being like, yeah, I hope David can pull through this and get through this. And I know he will. And it's like, whoa, like thinking back now, like I don't think about that every day, but you saying that reminds me of that time. And it's just interesting seeing the journey of seeing you go through that and where you are now. I think it's kind of cool. So you've come a long way, David. So I think we've all come a long way. So
Yeah.
But yeah, it's a lot to overcome. I mean, it was community mostly, but
Yeah, it was just sort of part of it was community kind of propelling me along to just live my life,
Mm-hmm.
and not let because it was kind of the thing where I was sort of allowing myself to derail my own life, kind of a thing,
Yeah.
I was sort of wallowing in it, kind of a thing. And so part of it was people around me just spurring me on, keeping me moving forward, not giving me the excuse to just simply wallow in my feelings, but actively work on overcoming them, kind of a thing. Another thing too was just because I'd always been a person of faith. I'd grown up in the church. There's a lot of people I admired where faith was a central thing in their lives. Like, even as a kid, I could tell this is what made them tick. This is kind of what fed into what made them such great people to be around.
Yeah.
And I wanted that, but I didn't have that for myself. And so at this time in my life, it was, again, community of people around me who cared about me, who helped me to discover that for myself, kind of thing. Throw off the idea of religion as a vengeful God spying on your every move, checking off everything you're doing wrong, kind of a thing. Yeah, like he's employing the same bird drones.
Keeping an eye on you. But anyway, sorry.
But yeah.
Sort of throwing off that mindset and embracing the mindset that God loved me and wanted to give me purpose and direction in life. And yeah,
that's cool. Yeah, I remember there's some times like, it's funny, I always on the podcast, it's like a joke at this point. I always bring up like fire season, which was my first fire season last year. And there was a time where I realized, oh crap, like going through all this craziness, I realized I had to get more into the word. Like, there were days where I'm like, oh shoot, I need to actually get on my word level in terms of reading the Bible and do that more. Like, intentionality with that is really important. And when you're going through that stressful situation, it's really important to remember what promises you are entitled to in the Bible and what God promises his folks, his children. We are all his children. And that's what really stood out to me as like the next level being an adult was like, oh shoot, like this is really important. Like, I always knew it. I was told that by my parents and church pastor, whatever. But to see it in actual practice, it made a huge difference being in the word versus out of the word. And that's something I always struggle with. Like, I don't read my Bible every day, but I try to, or maybe listen to worship music, something to stay centered, because the stuff that life throws at you is just so crazy and ridiculous that you got to hold on to something. And some people have God, some people do it another way, but I've just learned that's what really helps me get through, sometimes even just get through the day. So, but yeah, that was good. Thank you, gentlemen.
Yeah.
All right, let's see. What do we got left? Let's just do 2 more, Jake, because I know you got to get going soon.
Oh.
So, yeah, because your drive is...
I don't know.
It's about an hour drive, I think.
Is it?
To the campus, yeah.
Okay.
So let's just do that. So, all right, so 2 more questions. We'll do a silly one, then we'll do a not so serious one. You ready?
Believe so.
President Trump is ordering 40 pizzas for his crew. And you
his crew
are the delivery driver. What's he ordering? And bonus, what okay, this is dumb. What? The way I wrote this like a year ago. So like, what's he ordering? That's a dumb question. I'm not gonna make you answer
40
that.
pizzas.
Well, he's ordering 40 pizzas. The question is, what are you doing? Are you gonna deliver it? Are you excited? Are you gonna get a picture? Are you gonna get an autograph? Are you not gonna deliver? You gonna sabotage? What are you doing, David? Like, what are you doing?
What am I doing?
Yeah, what are you doing? You're a delivery boy for 40 pizzas for President Trump. What are you doing?
Well,
also, what would he order as a bonus question?
First thing I do is ditch the pizzas and get me some Mickey D's.
I knew it. I knew you were gonna say it.
Because as I'm assuming it's well known, Trump has a love of McDonald's. So if I'm delivering food to the president, I want to deliver something he likes. And I'm me being the really intuitive, insightful person that I am, would be like, there's no way. This must have been some kind of mistake. Either some aide like wrote down the wrong thing, or they just assumed that he wanted pizza. But I know that the president wants McDonald's, so I'm gonna get him that.
Like a Secret Service agent was like, "Are you sure pizza?" That's what he said. All right, you sure it's not McDonald's? All right, I'm gonna make a call. Papa John's. Oh, perfect. It's Papa John's. Well, it's perfect.
Yeah,
just works out that way.
But you would be David would be the delivery guy. Show up with the right meal.
With the right meal.
Donald Trump would be so impressed.
Jacob, what are you doing? You're in charge as a pizza delivery boy to deliver.
I think
40 pizzas. What are you doing?
I think I'm going to turn this into a hustle.
Oh, okay.
I think I'm going to let them order their 40 pizzas and then totally bail on that concept of delivering the 40 pizzas.
Mm-hmm.
And instead call up like whoever I can find who's got taco trucks or like food trucks of any sort. And like using whatever kind of pass I had to get to where the president and his crew were, get them in. So instead of buying the 40 pizzas, they can buy whatever they want and then they can jack up their prices.
Dang, that's...
Like, sure, you could wait until I get those 40 pizzas, which is never really going to happen. Or you could have some of this fresh food from these trucks.
Okay. All right. I would just take the pizzas there. Because here's the thing.
So boring.
Statistically.
Birds are real.
We know Trump
boring
is Trump,
answer.
but statistically, guys, Republicans are pretty good tippers. So I'll be like, all right, I'm going to give me a payday. I'm going to deliver these 40 pizzas. The company's already getting the money, so whatever. But I know there's probably a good tip waiting for me. So I'm going to go and deliver the schnot out of those 40 pizzas. And I'm going to be the best dang delivery boy there is. Get the pizzas there. And I need to get a picture and an autograph. Because who knows if somebody's going to, shoot the guy. I don't know. Like, I want to... You
want that chance.
And I want to ask. I'm like, hey, man, I know you. I'm just asking, but can you get me a picture with, Kash Patel? Because you're you're intelligence dude. I need a picture with that guy. And maybe JD. Give me JD's phone number if that's possible, or the phone number to his secretary. I don't know, some way to contact him so I can get a picture taken. Because I don't know who Trump's with at this moment.
Yeah.
40
knows?
piece, that's a lot of people.
All the
Probably
question
did.
asked was he's with his crew.
He's with his crew, yeah.
Which
And
could be anyone.
I don't know if it's a rally he's
It
doing.
could
I don't
be
know.
unrelated to politics.
It could be, too, yeah.
He's just having a really big house
Yeah,
party.
and
he
he's got a lot of connections. So he could be like, oh, who
Yeah,
else?
you could just be having
Hey,
like
Vince
a
McMahon,
big
you know?
family dinner or something.
Yeah. Like you could go hang out with Linda McMahon, you know? You don't know what's going
Yeah,
on.
who knows?
Is it, wait, no, it's Linda. That's her name.
What?
Linda McMahon? It's
Oh,
not McMahon.
the
The former wife of Vince McMahon.
Oh, are you talking about the
Can't remember her name.
the chick
Oh,
who's the
It's the education secretary.
Oh
No.
yeah, that's Linda McMahon.
Linda
yeah.
McMahon.
It is.
All right, yeah.
Okay.
I would love to have a conversation with her, you know? Be cool. Like, hey, what's your history? How do you know Trump, you know? Like, but anyway, that's what I would do.
Want to get all that
Interesting.
juicy dirt on Vince?
I love the documentary. Have you seen the documentary? It's pretty good. It's like, man, this is crazy stuff. I'm not even into wrestling, but it's kind of key, kind of new, kind of neat is what I meant to say. All right, last question. Maybe a bonus one. We'll see. Let's go and let's see. What do I want to pick? Ooh, it's exciting. What do I want to do? I'm going to go serious. You ready?
Okay.
Relationships. Do you believe in, quotes, the one? If
Ooh.
not, why? If so, then why? Jacob, what do you think?
That's a hard one to answer.
Mm-hmm.
I've had. I don't know. I haven't had all that much experience with relationships.
Mm.
I've dated a couple people and I've had a couple different relationships, but most of the time, relationships of any sort for me will eventually fade. Like friendships, I'm friends with different people than I was 3 years ago. I'm maybe not eventually fade. Like I still have family members that I care about, not everybody, but
Yeah, totally.
and there's always the potential that the one might be out there, maybe.
Man, maybe, yeah. Who knows?
But I don't know. I feel like I'd be hard pressed to commit to someone forever.
I mean, you're only 20. You got some time. You know?
Yeah. I mean, who knows? 20 years
Who
from now, I might have been married for 20 years. I mean,
Yeah. You might meet her tomorrow.
true.
You never know.
The potential's there.
Yeah.
Um,
But the one, is there really the one or no?
I mean, I don't know. It's a hard question to answer. I've seen a lot of people who click, and it's like they were made for each other, but I think there's always more than one. I think there's a lot of people that people can be happy with. And if that's the goal, then there's a lot out there for you.
All right. David, how about you?
Let's see.
This concept, is it accurate?
The
not
concept
accurate?
of the one.
The one.
I'm sort of kind of conflicted on this, you know, because I believe that, like, I do believe that there can be such a thing as, like, love at first sight, and then two people get together, and bam, they're together for the rest of their life, have a family, all that jazz.
Skadoosh.
Happy ending kind of a thing. I totally believe that can happen. But I think that's less about the fact that they were destined for each other and more about they were people who were willing to do the work necessary to make it work. Because that's the thing is, attraction always fades. Romance always fades. Feelings fade. They're temporary.
Yeah.
What makes long-lasting marriages work is people who are willing to, who love the other person enough, not love in the sense that, you know, I have an emotional reaction when I see you brought on by hormones, but love in a real, like, sense that I've decided to put your good ahead of everything else.
Mm-hmm.
When two people have that for each other and they're willing to be with each other through it all for the sake of love, then that's when relationships really work in the long term. So I don't think it's, I don't think of it in terms of like, someone was ordained by God to be with you. You were ordained to meet at this specific time, and then that's your one. But when people are willing to actually love each other sacrificially and put in the work necessary to make the relationship work, it can almost seem like they were destined to be together. But I think that's just because people on the outside looking in don't see everything that goes on in their relationship dynamic.
Yeah, I think it's interesting. I believe everybody in your life that you've come into contact with, or you talk to, I should say. I feel like it's all for a season at some point. Some people are there longer in your life. Some people aren't.
Mm-hmm.
They're there for more shorter period of time. I do feel like, though, well, not feel, but I would have to say that I feel like, I don't know, my personal goal is to find somebody that's like willing to suffer well through life with me. Like somebody who's willing to, who's willing to be a tough person to go through the crap that life throws at us. Because that's what's going to get us, not just God, but that kind of mindset's going to get us through like life in general. And there's ladies I've met like that, and I'm like, man, that's really admiring and really cool.
Mm-hmm.
But I feel like, again, a season is really key, because there are people that will only be in your life for a specific season. And I think it's our job, like as men, to like add that, and in that season, figure out what God wants us to do in that season, whether it is to pursue that person or not, who knows, but to figure that out and to deeply pray about it, because I believe he has a grand plan, but it's up to us. Free will is a thing. The person could say, no, you cannot pursue it, all kinds of variables. Because free will is a big thing in this life.
Oh yeah.
And I don't know. I just feel like the one, maybe, but I think I like what you said. Was it you, Jacob, that said there might be many great ones out there? Or something like that.
I don't think I put it that
no,
poetically.
Yeah, you didn't put it that way, but
not quite as poetic as that.
It was like,
but...
there are a lot of people that you could work well together with,
Yeah.
But I think it's all a time and a place thing, and faith, honestly. Really. Because some people may not be ready. You may not be ready. God might not be like, yo, that guy, he ain't ready yet. Let's wait a little bit and get some character development in there. Like the meme where it's like, oh man, life sucks right now. Character development,
Character development.
And then like it goes to like a montage of Calvin's dad from Calvin and Hobbes saying like, it builds character.
Exactly.
Oh man. But anyway, I think I used to believe in the one, but as time has gone on and I've lived more life, I feel like there could be, but I feel like it's more of right time and place.
Yeah.
So, all right. Well, bonus question for you guys. Last one, Jacob, because I know you got to go.
Okay.
How many 6-year-olds can you guys take in a fight?
The question I've been waiting.
Yeah,
I've been thinking about this all day.
Okay, so wait, let's get the rules out of the way. There's 6-year-olds. How tall is a 6-year-old?
Depends on the 6-year-old.
Depends on the 6-year-old,
Somewhere in the...
And what grade are they in? Usually
first or second.
First or second, So this is who we're dealing with. So imagine this. You're in a room with however many 6-year-olds you can put in there. And what you're going to tell me. How many do you think you could take on a fight? Your life depends on this.
It's like an infinite number of
It
6-year-olds.
It could be. How many could you take on?
It's a fight to the death.
Yeah. Do you need some time to think?
I can give some context for
Okay,
like,
all
why I'm
right,
thinking,
all
but then I still probably need some time to think to get a real number. I've done a decent amount of babysitting and a decent amount of like at family events. I'm always the one who's like entertaining the younger cousins and siblings.
Thank you for your service, sir.
Yeah, those parents enjoyed their beers thanks to me. But sometimes that means like they want to do something that they shouldn't be doing, and that means grabbing them and stopping them. Yeah. And like even like a little 4-year-old is. I mean, I'm not a very strong person. I'm pretty scrawny, so like little kids can be pretty impactful against me.
Yeah, they can be tough, man. They take a licking to keep on ticking, man. Like that's how little kids are, you know.
Yeah. And they're resourceful too.
And they're resourceful.
Anything they can get.
They go in groups, you know.
Yeah. And it's.
So we need a number.
6-year-olds.
What do we got?
I'm gonna have to put it at like 3. Like it's not very high.
What?
If they're all coming at me at once, I bet 3 could pin me.
They're shorter than you.
How much do you think a 6-year-old weighs?
I don't know, but you have feet. You have shoes.
That's
you can
true.
Kick them.
I can sprint.
You could run.
I could run from these 6-year-olds. Find some high ground. I guess all ground is high ground for me to compare to them.
Yeah, when they're that short and you're that tall, all ground is high ground.
Maybe I'll call it 4.
4?
I could take 4 at the same time.
That's a good number. Some people underestimate some 6-year-olds, you know. All right, David, what do we got?
I guess it would depend on whether they had that killer instinct or not. You know,
if their inner like fight or flight has been like enabled yet. Yeah.
Yeah. If the adrenaline starts pumping and they go for the throat,
do they?
You know,
do they have adrenaline yet?
It could be over. Could be over pretty quickly.
What do you guys just say? Nocturnal? Is that what you said?
No. Do they have adrenaline yet?
They have adrenaline. They might not have it.
They could.
You don't know what they're eating.
It could be over quick. They could like Chucky you.
Yeah, I don't know.
Maybe you're in a Chuck E. Cheese. Who knows?
True.
I feel like as long as they weren't like, if they didn't have that killer instinct, you know, I could probably take on.
Yeah.
I don't know if I could give a number, but like they would probably have to cover me from head to toe in order to take me down. I'm a pretty hefty dude.
That's
and 6-year-olds don't have a ton of shall we say muscle mass.
That's got to be like 9 or 10 6-year-olds. Like that's a lot.
A nice solid 10
to cover you. Like
yeah,
you could probably still break out.
If they were just trying to take me down,
yeah,
it'd probably take a lot. It'd probably like take 10, 15 probably.
Dang, whoa.
Damn.
Possibly more than that.
Whoa.
I've swung around a few children in my day.
Yeah, you know.
I kind of have a feel for how much they're able to resist me.
I was going to bring that up next because I fake fought with a lot of kids.
I don't know how youth group is, but
no, that's not youth group.
But if these were like,
these are 6-year-olds.
If these were like,
I can handle like 3 teenage boys, just for context.
Like
I'd be like, whoa, whoa.
If these were like killer 6-year-olds that had like chimpanzee instincts,
like shark teeth,
like
claws,
it would probably, it would, you know, if they were resourceful enough, maybe 3 or 4 of them could take me down, maybe.
Yeah, Lord of the Flies, man.
But if they were just your average 6-year-old and they were
Goliath.
just, you know, trying to wrestle me to the ground with brute force, I'd probably take on quite a bit, probably like 10 or 15.
Dang, okay. Wow, that's a lot.
Wow.
Well,
it's like half the school bus.
Okay, so for me, I'm imagining myself walking into a Chuck E. Cheese. And I don't know if I was the one to lock the door or somebody locked the door, but I'm trapped. And I'm like, how many? And they just happen to be 6 years old, all of them. There ain't no 7, 5, or 14. There's just 6 years old. So I'm like, what do I do? I'm like, how many could I take on? And I'm like, imagining, I'm like, I don't know. Maybe like 15 sounds like a lot, David. I could probably, because they're not coming all at y'all at once.
They're
just
like,
to be clear.
they got to crawl out of the ball pit first.
You got to kick them, a couple of them out of the way, and then just go to town. You got to defend yourself. You're not assaulting them. They're assaulting you.
Yeah.
So you got to get to them before they get to you. So.
I like how you're trying to justify your motives in this hypothetical scenario.
Yeah.
I would
that
say
group of 6-year-olds attacked me,
yeah,
officer.
those 6-year-olds attacked me, officer. I didn't attack them. I don't know. I'd say like 12, I guess.
Okay.
But if we're talking like a couple come at me first, like 3 or 4, and then like 1 or 2, and then like 6, I'm going to stop at 20. Like, I feel like if I can get through the crowd a little bit, I could, it says how many can you take on in a fight? Yeah, I'm going to do 12. Yeah,
Okay.
12's a number.
Slight variation on the question.
Mhm.
What if they were not 6-year-olds, but just like full-size adult zombie?
Oh, zombies, straight up zombies.
Oh, yeah.
Like average 6 foot
Yeah, just like
Zombies.
standard human zombie.
standard human zombies.
And don't worry about getting bit. It's just how many do you think you could take out before you die?
Before I die.
Yeah,
Whoa.
before you are taken down by the
Well,
zombies.
I'll just tell you right now, I'm a pretty resourceful person, but I'm also a big guy. I can't get very far. So I'm going to say 2 or 3. I can take down. They're zombies, right? Like, are they fast, like World War Z zombies? Are we talking like Walking Dead?
The normal Walking Dead.
Okay,
like
normal
slow
Walking
zombies.
Dead. All right. So I can do probably 3.
Yeah, I'm in the like 1 to 2 range.
Okay.
Like
Maybe
if
I'm a little overconfident.
I could take out the like 1 inside a building, and then I'd have
Yeah.
to secure the building.
Yeah. Just get a wrench or something. You'll be fine.
Yeah.
Go for the head.
Pull out
Dave-
the multi-tool.
Yeah, get the multi. That's what it's there for, Maybe it's on the desert island,
Yeah.
You gotta watch out. That's why I brought the Marine Corps with me, just in case. David, how many zombies can you take on?
Yeah, if I'm not worried about getting bit,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm just taking them on
Yeah.
to see how many it takes before they bring me down, then yeah, probably 3 or 4.
All right.
Okay.
Dang.
Yeah.
I'm sticking
That's-
with you through the apocalypse.
yeah.
That's what's happening. It's funny. There's a guy that lives out here that has a Jeep parked by the road. Like, you can see it as you drive by the house. It literally has like machetes, like saw blades.
Whoa.
It's got a whole bunch of stuff just decked down around, like fire
He's prepared.
firefighter axes. It's got like 2 extra wheels on the back. It's like ready to go.
Oh yeah.
So I wanna
Anything
track
happens.
that guy down. If anything happens,
Yeah.
it does. Jacob, here's the thing.
Just hope that he's not one of the zombies.
Then I'm taking his car.
Oh, right, true.
There
true,
you go.
True,
Yeah.
there you go.
Yeah, Jacob. If something happens in town,
Yeah.
you need a place to go. That's the place.
This is a pretty good spot out here.
You could. You could come here. I don't know, man. I would invite you in. That'd be fine.
I'd have to
Yeah, I'd be fine with
I'd
it,
have to
but-
bring something to trade.
Exactly.
Right.
You gotta
Worth
be
my
resourceful.
salt. Worth my salt.
So because speech and debate is only
Yeah,
gets you so far. in the
Talking doesn't
apocalypse.
do much with zombies.
And with that, I think we'll end it there. Thank you so much, Jacob, for being on this
Yeah.
this toss up of an episode.
Happy to be here. This is
Yeah.
fun.
Yeah,
This
me
was
and
fun.
David had no idea what we were gonna do this week. We're like, what are we gonna do? What are we gonna? I have no idea, David. We can't. I can't come up with it. Me, you too. And then we saw you outside walking around, and we're like, who is that guy? I know they're trimming the orchards next
happened
door,
to
but
be in the yard.
what is that guy doing? And you just said, you just came to the door, and you were like, hey, like, you guys do a podcast?
You guys
And I'm like,
snarp
oh, perfect
and fangle?
timing. What is it about? I don't know.
yeah.
So anyway, thank you for your time, sir. We appreciate you. And
Oh, yeah.
thank you, David, again for being here. Like you always do. You're so lovely. You're just so lovely.
Yes, he is. Look at those hair curls.
Look at those
are
hair curls. And
excellent.
that beard. Just
That beard.
That beard right there. So anyway, and the audience, thank you so much for taking a gander and listen to this episode of the Snarp Fangle Podcast. We'll see you again next time in a zombie apocalypse. Don't forget to Snarp Fangle on.
Bye-bye now.